welcome to a series that I've been wanting to make for so long now, and I'm so excited that it is finally here. Welcome to my first Planet Coaster 2 park series, and I'm sure you can tell by the title, this park is going to be called Infinity Isles, and I'm sure as you can tell by the thumbnail and the title of the video, we're going to be building an Intamin Multi-Dimension coaster today. This is not actually what's going to be the first coaster that actually, say for example, as you're walking in from a guest, the first coaster that you see in the entranceway that is in front of you that you can go on, realistically what you can get to first. This isn't going to be that coaster, but the coaster that I do want to make for that is something that was in Planet Coaster 1, and I'm sure, to be honest, I want to keep this series relevant, or at least try and get some sort of relevance with it. So I don't want to start with stuff that we've seen before. I want to start with stuff that we haven't had yet, basically. So if I'm starting with an Intamin Multi-Dimension coaster, probably mine and everyone else's the coaster that they've wanted to make the most in this game. I am honestly so excited for it. I do apologise as well. I'm currently recovering from a cough and a cold. I'm not as bad as I was earlier in the week, but I'm gonna try not to splutter and sneeze while I'm recording this voiceover, but I really don't want to go through and record it loads of times. So I'm going to try and keep it on the down low as much as I can. But yeah, of course, Intamin Multi-Dimension coaster. I'm going straight into it here. Building a twisted airtime hill, as you can see here. This is basically, at this point when I started building this airtime hill, this was literally my first 5 minutes of the game. So it was, I definitely underestimated how different it was going to take, how different it is actually building a coaster. Of course, all the principles are still there, but obviously now you have to kind of be a bit more considerate, and you have to think about how you're going to smooth the coaster a bit more, because obviously the smoothing tool is better now, so you don't need to leave as much room for error for the tool to make it up. But one thing I do want to point out is that the smoothing tool in this game is an absolute game changer. I am, like, obviously they showed off in all our gameplay demos and those deep dive videos, and I don't think those actually put into justice how good it is until you start using it for yourself. It is so satisfying using that tool, and it's absolutely incredible. I mean, look, you can see I'm just moving a little bit here, and that, even if you can tell by going past quickly on a time lapse, it looks absolutely stunning. I absolutely love the tool. But yeah, Intamin Multi-Dimension coaster, as I said, we're building this, of course, uses the drop tracks and the switch tracks and the tilt tracks, all those very interesting elements. So I'm going to try and get through a few of those as I can. I don't want to overload it with stuff. Obviously, I don't want anything like Hagrid's where it, you know, just it's insane element after insane element. But I want to try and keep as many of those cool elements in as I can. And you can see here, I'm just going around the corner, trying to build. Obviously, this is going to be family thrill, so I don't want it to be too thrilling. I think the height of it is about 68 feet, I think it is. I built it to. As you can see here, I'm just kind of pondering around, and then I'm moving to the back just to try and figure out what I want to do with it. This is obviously something I'm going to be trying. As you can tell already, I've been blabbering for more than what I have done in my old Planet Coaster series that, of course, never got finished. Some aspects of that I wanted to build and finish, so they are going to make their way into this park. But if it's, like, for example, I will be building a Mack Hypercoaster similar to the one that we had in that old park, but I won't show as much of the build process or much of the theming process, because you guys, if you've seen those old videos, you would have seen them already before. So you see that I just placed in my first switch track, and it's just I accidentally put it over everything, and then that's just me kind of staring at it, wondering what the hell to do, and kind of figure out where I wanted to go next with this coaster. Because at this point in time, I wasn't exactly saying I was too happy with the layout. The nice helix after the drop is nice, and that airtime hill, but it kind of does all clash with each other. There's a floating train over there, but then I decided to restart from scratch, and we're going to build up and go the other direction now, and just try and balance it out a little bit to make sure we're not touching that switch track. I didn't actually really get into what I wanted to talk about mainly in the start of this video, what Infinity Isles is going to be. I basically got inspiration from my home park and the place that I work currently, Thorpe Park. And basically, of course, that park, of course, probably a lot of you know, all UK enthusiasts, you probably know what Thorpe Park is like. It's a park built on an island in a lake. So I wanted to try and replicate something like that, but I wanted to do it differently and not just do one island. Every single themed area in this park is going to be its own island, hence the name Infinity Isles, because there's kind of no, I kind of wanted to go the aspects of there's no bounds of the imagination. I want to build these really highly themed areas, something I never really fully finished in Planet Coaster 1, so I wanted to try and build something like that. And my audio was just turned on for the footage, which is not what we want. You don't want to be hearing that double. You can see here, I'm just turning it around and building into a new airtime hill, and then a nice little helix round, an overbank almost. But yeah, Infinity Isles, I think I'm really, really happy with the name. I'm not going to reveal too much of what I'm building at the moment. I want to leave you guys in a bit of suspense, but I am going to tell you what the first few areas are going to locate. Whether I build them now or I build them a bit later depends, because obviously I want to build the new stuff for Planet Coaster. Of course, there was just a bit of a dodgy jump cut there, because I did actually at this point finish the coaster, and then I decided, I had a bit of dinner and I decided I hated the layout. So basically now I cut all that out. You don't want to see me building something that's never going to be finalized or fully themed. So I just cut that bit out of the video, and then we're going to go from scratch here, just before the wave turn. I did try to build another wave turn, but in a minute I am actually going to cut that out, because to be honest, I was not really a big fan of it. I just kind of think the way it flowed through was not really great, and also for some reason the wave turns are not really getting much speed, and they need to have a certain bit of clearance, of course, as well. So obviously the wave turn just didn't really work. We're obviously going to go into a nice airtime hill there. And even just the profiling of the track looks amazing, just without it being smooth. Like, you think in Planet Coaster 1, you build the profile of the track and it looks all janky and whatever, but even there, it looks a little bit janky. But one smooth over with the smoothing tool, and that is all fixed. And even then, I think it still runs quite smooth, even without the tool. Of course, I went back over it again there, but I've gone off on a side ramble again. I'm afraid this is probably what's going to be happening in quite a lot of these Planet Coaster videos in the hopefully months to come. I honestly, I've tried a few Planet Coaster series before with the first game, and I've never really got anywhere far with them or finished them. But in this series, I really, really want to finish it, because I'm really, really passionate about this project that I'm going to start. It's going to be cool. It's going to be different to anything I've done before. Hopefully, it's going to be different to what people have seen done before, especially with this this coaster, with what the theme is eventually going to be. I haven't really seen too many people delve into a sort of theme like that, so I'm really, really looking forward to actually building that. And I've already got a huge transcript in my mind of what I want to do with that layout. But I wanted to get back to where I was talking about what areas we're going to have in this park. I don't want to reveal them all, but I just want to reveal a few just to keep you guys excited for something that what's going to be coming up soon. So the first area I'm going to be building is, of course, this area with this Intamin Multi-Dimension coaster. I'm not going to reveal the theme yet. I might do that at the end of the video. I haven't quite decided yet. I've got 6 minutes of rambling left to decide what I want to do with it. But basically, the opening area as you walk into the park is going to be a 50s America area, which is fairly similar to what I did have planned for my Planet Coaster 1 Park Adventure Isle, with that massive, not massive, but that kind of twisting and turning Intamin accelerator. That is what's going to be staying in that area as well. But I'm going to build a very different layout for it, and maybe something similar to Rita, maybe, but also almost maybe what if Rita was good, or maybe what if Rita could go over the height limit or something like that. I don't want to build a massive 400-foot accelerator, because they're not exactly, they're a dying breed at the moment, of course, with Kingdom Car probably shutting soon, Top Thrill Dragster, of course, out of action as well. They're not really in fashion at the moment, and I also think that even though this is a highly detailed park where it's going to have some big coasters, I don't think a 400-foot one is going to fit too well. I kind of don't want you to be like standing at the back of the park and seeing a 400-foot Stratocoaster while you're getting immersed in, say, for example, a sci-fi area. So that's another side ramble for me that I've gone on for another 2 minutes. But the first day, of course, can be 50s America with an Intamin accelerator and a B&M surf coaster, which I'm going to build after this, I believe. You see here, just with the drop track, we're starting to build our backward section now. These drop tracks are so much fun to use. And then, of course, it comes out of the backward section like 13. I'm trying to keep this bit relatively short, because obviously it doesn't have too much speed. I don't want the excitement ratings to absolutely plummet, or I don't even want it to valley either. Yeah, 50s America with a B&M surf and an Intamin accelerator. I do apologise. Hopefully this is gone by the next time I record a voiceover for one of these videos. But a B&M surf, Intamin accelerator, that area is going to be amazing. We're also going to have its own water park area of this park. Of course, I want to try out the water park. That's a massive feature of Planco 2. And that is going to be sort of similar to Energylandia, where it kind of has its own, area in the park. I'm not going to call it the water park zone, which Energylandia calls it, but I'm going to build a big water park off to the side, but it's all going to be connected to the park. Obviously, I'm not going to build like a specific water park. So, of course, I want to try and implement it all into one massive resort, basically. Of course, we haven't got hotels in this game at the moment, but hopefully maybe by the time I get to maybe trying to build a hotel, they've added that item into the game. So I don't really know why we haven't got it, because we had the resort theme, which I'm probably going to use to build the hotel facade, which looks amazing. But then we don't have the actual hotels, which I find very, very strange. I don't think restaurants are in the game either, which is not a massive miss, but I'm a bit disappointed that it's not in the game. So yeah, 50s America. I'm going to try not to ramble because I've only got 3 minutes left of footage, so I want to try and get this all done. Then off to the left, we're going to have the water park zone. We're going to go over a bridge to the water park zone. Then over to the right, which is where this is now. Of course, at the start of the video, it was over on the left. It's now on the right side of the park. You're going to go over a bridge to get to the island where this area is going to be. I'm not going to say what it is yet. You're going to find out in the next episode when I theme this coaster. And then, so we're going to have 50s America, water park, wasteland, going to left and right respectively. And then behind the water park area, we're going to have a sci-fi zone with a... Oh, do I say? I am not going to say what the coaster is, but it is not a new coaster. So I don't know if I'm going to build that one just yet. And then over to the right of the park, behind this area. I just realised I said the wasteland area, didn't I? I've just given away the thing without me even realising. Oh, well, there you go. There you go. The secret's gone. The suspense is gone. I've just said wasteland area. This is going to be a wasteland area. Very similar to, the sort of like orangey rocks, orangey sort of wasteland, like the Nevada wasteland, similar to like Fallout New Vegas, which is a heavy inspiration for me for this in terms of how the wasteland will look with lots of rocky hills and stuff like that going through caverns. And I'm going to try and fit a metal onboard audio soundtrack into it. Whether it's licensed or not, I don't know, because obviously I can make it licensed, but obviously I can't really play that in a video because I don't want the risk of getting striked. I probably will just get a warning, but I don't want to take that sort of risk. There you can just see we're building a little outer bank over where actually that switch track and the drop track and reverse track is all going to be indoors. And that's actually going to have that track there. My idea was for it to hang up against the side of the wall. That does get changed in a minute just because it doesn't really carry it with too much speed and it is just a bit boring. So it's just going to do a bit of a shorter overbank and then round into a helix round as we try to get back towards the end of the layout. As you can see as well, we just got an end of day report on there, which I have not seen before at any sort of gameplay thing. So if you're a park management sort of person, that's probably going to be helpful for you. But just trying to do a couple of bunny hills now to try and get it to the end of the layout. It's not really got too much speed, so I'm going to have to experiment and get another element into the coaster in a minute. But yeah, where was I? I was talking about the wasteland area. Behind the wasteland area, we're going to have a city area, very similar to what I had with Adventure Island Planco 1, but it's going to be dramatically smaller and a lot better and much better laid out than it was, because I didn't like that area, to be honest. That's why I kind of stopped there, because I just didn't like the layout of it. And that is going to have the Mack Hyper Coaster. But I think that's all I'm going to give away for now. Of course, there's going to be more stuff in this part. It's going to be great fun. I can't wait for it. Thank you for joining me for this rambling so far and this time lapse. I'm going to give you a POV of the coaster now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next Planco video. Bye-bye.